listening to Slurmcast, a podcast for no reason. Today we'll be discussing Season 6, Episode 2, or 7, Episode 2 on Hulu, Inagata Dalila. My name is Michelle Burlingame. With me, as always, is Pete Woodward.
That's me.
And with me, not quite always, filling in for Tommy Roulette, we have guest host George Dunne.
It's me.
Joining us today is our guest, Dave Huffman, host of Bitchy Vegan Homo.
Hi there.
Welcome to the
Hello.
show.
Why, thanks.
It was a pretty exciting afternoon. As I understand it, Tom and Becca got beset by cryptids in the wilds of Pennsylvania.
I don't know your fancy $10 words in this.
It could have been a
drama.
Mothman. It could have been a Bigfoot / Sasquatch. He wasn't really
We don't
clear.
ever talk about Bigfoot when I'm around.
No.
No.
Bigfoot
Terrible
phobic?
childhood fears. So we're just moving past that now.
You're good
Okay.
with the
But that's-
Mothman, though?
That probably is what killed them.
I think they're still alive.
I don't think so.
We'll have to check
Not if
in after
Bigfoot's
we
involved.
finish
No,
recording, but
Yeah.
as of right now, Tommy is somewhere in the mountains.
He's filming
I
Willow
think,
Creek too.
but a spin-off
Yeah.
with you
Cabin
and
in the Woods.
Eric Kaplan might be that. I think we have a new show. This is good.
Terrified of irrational fears?
No, he's just
No,
a
just
he's a
Bigfoot.
Sasquatch enthusiast. So
you should have come on for the Sasquatch episode.
Oh, no, thank you.
There's a question that we intermittently ask our guests, and since you're a new guest to the show, what is your relationship to the cartoon Futurama?
My relationship is that I've enjoyed it since it first existed. I've always been a fan of The Simpsons, so when it debuted, I was very excited about it. A huge fan of Bender. Somewhere I have probably a not collectible at all Bender kind of, foot tall kind of figurine kind of thing that used to be on display in my house, but now he's just in a closet somewhere. But that's about it.
Well, that's
And I still enjoy it. Yeah.
It's hard because it has gone sort of in and out of availability.
Yeah.
And then, I imagine we're relatively similar in age as opposed to these youngsters here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Dads are talking.
Yeah.
well, when it
down,
was
kids.
broadcasting, I had better things to do. So
I watched it when it was on originally.
I
and
did
yeah.
for a while,
But
but
I definitely, when it moved over to Comedy Central, right? Isn't that where
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
showed up?
Yep.
I
That's where we
definitely
are right
lost
now.
track of it for a little while. And then, once it's streaming again, that's when I've kind of rediscovered it. And I think I've seen them all, but I may not have.
so you're ahead of me then. I mean, by better things, I mean poisoning my body and really just skirting around the law.
No, you just poison it with television.
I
Yay.
poison it with all
I
kinds of things.
poisoned my brain.
Yeah.
I mostly under a doctor's supervision, though.
Of
Big-
course.
Let's hear it for Big
Dr.
Pharma.
Feelgood.
Yeah. Little yellow pills.
So
Pete's little helper.
okay, I have an increasingly large number of those things in the other room. I'll give you the rundown later. So what happened on this? The intro sequence was shorter. I'm wondering if that's a staple now as it moves into the Comedy Central seasons.
There was no Jumbotron.
No
cartoon.
Jumbotron for sure, but even the title sequence where it kind of goes
there was
through
a
everything.
There was barely
Jumbotron
enough time
last
to
week,
read it.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's a staple of the newer seasons.
No, I think
but,
it might just be like on The Simpsons when they just go straight to like
Couch
Homer.
gag.
Yeah, Homer
It's a
running
time
into
thing.
the
Yeah.
garage if they're running a few
Right. They
seconds
just have
over.
to trim some unessential things out to make
Which
sure
is
they
weird
fit into
because
the
this
time.
episode, it's
Right.
packed to the brim with nothing.
It's so strange.
It definitely had a weird flow to it,
Yeah.
but I think there were some very good gags that I enjoyed a lot. Even the news strip, like the
The
films.
old serial,
Transcredible
Yeah.
the
Adventures.
Transcredible Adventures, the old serial. As a movie guy, my day job is, of course, basically I get paid to watch movies. And
How'd you manage that?
I have no idea. I'm very lucky.
George
So-
might try and assume your identity. Watch out for
I
him.
will steal your skin.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I'm not using it all the time, I guess. But I'm a film nerd too. Like that's what my degree is in. So watching the kind of with the historic kind of the old Hollywood or the old movie serials that they would have before films back in the day. That was kind of fun. Nice little retro throwback.
And it had it became increasingly like more so as it went through, but it definitely had like the Flash Gordon references
Yes.
and
Yeah.
things that were like
It even had a racist Asian villain.
yeah.
The bad kind of Ming / Charlie Chan
What
kind
was
of
his
bad
name?
thing. I can't remember.
Oh
what
God, I
thought
think
it
that was
was,
in the
um,
second.
Emperor
one.
Chop Chop.
Emperor Chop. Yeah. Well, and of course, all those serials are actually Zapp's dreams, right? That's
Right.
what he's dreaming. So I like the fact that he dreams in serial and that his dreams pick up sequentially.
Yeah.
And all have an introduction. I
Yeah.
think that's very clever.
And his
I wish
dreams
my
are still
did
low
that.
budget.
Yeah.
With the like the actress, whoever was playing
Yeah.
Leela in the serial with the fake eye, and then
Yeah.
you could see the real eyes
The fact that
underneath
you're
it.
not dreaming in your dream using either the real people or, like you said, higher production values in your dream, you would think.
I mean, this is taking place 1,000 or so years in the future, so he's actually going back like.
Well, I think it's kind of like the Harold Zoid episode. Like how they had like silent, was it holograms? Were they holograms? I don't remember.
Oh yeah,
But,
yeah.
like, I think it's kind of in that sense of like, there was, I don't know if you want to make up the timeline of the film of the Futurama, where it's like, oh, so holograms when they started silent.
And civilization has
white.
been like destroyed a couple of times
Yeah.
over, so maybe it just kind of resets and starts. But it's good to know that he waxes his rocket every day.
That is nice.
That's-
And that's another thing. My dreams aren't sponsored. His dreams are sponsored.
I
That
was
is
Make
pretty
some serious
cool.
money.
well. That's. I mean, how far away are we from that?
Having your dreams sponsored?
Yes.
Not far at all.
That sounds like a Philip
Yeah.
K. Dick book. Like,
Yeah.
If it isn't,
and I'd
yeah.
watch the fuck out of the
Yeah.
adaptation of that.
I mean, it's probably an episode of Black Mirror that's in production
Oh, it's
right
gotta
now.
be.
Probably.
But there's got to be some kind of research going on in a lab.
That was kind of to cross into another animated thing. South Park did the whole thing where
Oh, yeah.
they had
she
a
know she's an
humanization
ad?
of
Oh,
an
yeah.
ad. Like you
Yeah.
couldn't tell what an ad wasn't an ad. They've gotten
Really?
so far that like the little girl was actually an ad that had been planted in there. So yeah. So
See, I
South
haven't-
Park's already.
It was
for
one
once,
of the
instead
new-
of the Simpsons did it. It's South Park did it.
Yeah, was it the new? I don't think it was the newest season. I think it
was
was
2 seasons
It was
ago.
2
Yeah.
seasons
It was
ago.
when,
Yeah, it was pretty recently.
Yeah.
It was when Cartman was trying to go to Mars. So yeah, that was 2 seasons ago. That was when he was PC.
I've missed.
PC Principal.
What
PC
season are they on now?
Oh God,
21
20 something.
I
Yeah.
stopped watching around season 3.
Oh,
So
then you've missed
it's
a
good
lot of-
again. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
as
I'm
opposed,
still impressed. I just watched Team America yesterday too.
Oh, I haven't
because
watched them
I'm a fan
forever.
of them.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
This
the,
is completely off topic. Of
no, it's this
This
is
is-
this is about normal.
this is
for
what we
us.
do.
Welcome to the Slurmcast.
The I think I've only attempted to watch Team America one time, and I say attempted because
You have a fear of puppets.
no, it came out.
Sock puppets.
God, it was released right around my birthday in my early 20s. And I went out with a bunch of friends, and everyone proceeded to get just wasted after we had dinner, and then we went out for drinks. And then this was I don't know if it's still open. I think it's still there, but the Drexel Theater chain down in Columbus.
Yeah, there's still a Drexel. One Drexel.
This was so we were going to the Drexel Grandview, and so we went to this bar, and like while at the bar, my friend threw up spaghetti all over the patio, all over the bathroom, and then we went to the movie after he'd already expurgated. And while we were in the theater, my other friend's girlfriend just bent down and we just laughed. Like I couldn't pay attention to it because my friends were turning the theater into a vomitorium, which is terrible. I can only imagine. Like
is
that's
exactly
probably
what
something
happens
you've
in
had
the
to deal with.
Yes. We don't like people like you in my industry.
Well, it wasn't me. I was I was trying to tip people excessively, and I was 20. I had no
apologizing.
money.
Yeah.
But after that, it just left a bad taste in my mouth, so to speak.
Left a bad taste in their
Well,
mouth. Probably worse.
I would encourage you to revisit it because it is highly entertaining and very, very fun.
Is it still conventional wisdom that Matt Damon should just like shut up or?
That's one of my favorite running jokes in that movie. Is the whole
could-
Matt Damon thing.
Matt Damon. You saw the interview where they asked him what that was
Yeah.
about. He's like, I have no idea.
It was a complete non sequitur. Yeah, it could have just been any random person.
Yeah.
We just picked Matt Damon.
And so now
Makes
it's
it
in
even better.
perpetuity.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was, yeah, just, so that kind of stuff, it just packed in. And I see, I'm losing it already. I'm distracted by all the vomit.
Well, I think
like-
we were talking about his dreams.
Yeah.
And the structure of those.
Yeah. So Leela is taken captive by Emperor Chop Chop.
But he surrendered and volunteered for treason.
Yes. Yeah.
Which his cowardice is sort of pervasive. Like it.
It's one of his defining characteristics.
Yeah, but with a lack of, I mean, his lack of self-awareness is really what makes the character.
Yeah.
Yeah, this episode, Zap always used to be one of my favorite characters. This episode kind of pushes my appreciation for him. If
a
only
little
because the plot of this episode is the Earth is
reprehensible.
about to be destroyed, so Zap tries to rape Leela.
Pretty much.
That's the plot of this.
I mean, but through deception, not by force. There's a continuum, right?
I'm abstaining from this.
Oh, But as he's found, I mean, oh gosh, we're jumping ahead
No,
so
I know,
far.
I'm
But
not-
Zap is so problematic.
yeah, but he's been problematic since.
Yeah.
Always
He
is.
always
I mean,
is.
I mean, I always enjoyed whenever his character would pop up in other episodes. So it's interesting to have one where he is really the focus of it in a lot of ways. Because
Yeah.
even other ones where he's there, you almost have more of Kif in
Yeah.
a lot of those episodes than you do of Zap. He's almost like just the throwaway buffoon. So this is one of the ones I think where you get more of him than in any other episode.
I think that's true. I mean, usually this might be the most Zap we see without Kif, period.
Yeah.
Certainly throughout the course of the series so far.
Which I think makes it feel even weirder, like not having someone kind of to bounce off of him. Because him and Leela, they're funny in small doses,
Yeah.
but doing a whole 15 minutes of just them back and forth, and Leela doesn't really do anything. She's just
No,
like,
she's
oh,
trapped
really?
under a log."
Okay.
Yeah.
How much can you do if you're pinned underneath a tree?
Yeah. But even verbally sparring, they're just
We
like,
should have
oh,
done this
okay.
entire podcast, all of us pinned underneath a tree.
Well, I
we
am.
could go take one down out back. Those arborvitae are
Get the
driving
axe
me
out.
nuts. They're growing crooked. It's have you ever had a tree removed from a yard? It gets pricey.
Yeah.
That's the only reason they're still there. What was his pajama when he woke up? It looked like some kind of Power Ranger or something. Was that like an actual
I didn't notice
reference to something, or was that just sort of non-denominational Robo-Hero kind of?
I noticed it, but I couldn't place it.
I
I was
think
like,
just
oh, he's
generic
got,
kinda,
he's
yeah.
got like a space, like a race car driver pajama
Yeah, I
onesie
mean,
on.
of course he
I'm not
does.
sure. Listener, if you know what that was a reference to, tell us.
Probably nothing, but if
Please.
it is,
Text
I bet
us,
they'll tell us.
message us, email us, leave a shitty comment on Facebook, whatever.
All of those
Do
things.
that.
Is this the first time?
They don't. They can.
Is this the first time they introduce the White House underneath the White House?
I was going to ask about that. Yeah.
'Cause I'm pretty sure it comes back,
Yeah.
and I don't remember it happening before this.
I don't think it's happened before because I
No.
definitely made a note about that as being something new. It makes me wonder if
But I
there's a
don't know
White House
why.
under the White House
Well,
in
this-
real life.
Oh, there's absolutely.
absolutely-
Yeah. Has to be.
Have you
But
seen Men
this-
in Black?
No, haven't you
No.
seen White? What
haven't
is
seen
it?
Men in Black?
White House
No.
Down or whatever. One of those.
No.
Those two,
Yeah.
There's those two action movies that take place. There's like a whole sub thing under there. Yeah.
Well, this scene had two really great lines back to back. So Zap says the long dramatic corridor. That's never a good sign. Like as if the corridor changes like based on the
Yeah.
news that he's gonna get. And then the next line he puts his gloved hand into a scanner and the robot says, "Glove recognized. Proceed, Mrs. Eisenhower," implying that
He's got a
Zap
lady.
is wearing
Yeah, he's got Mrs. Eisenhower's gloves. I mean, was that Mamie Eisenhower? Is that? I just he's such a pile of contradictions, Mr. Brannigan. But there was something. God, I can't.
Then he says,
Oh,
"Mr.
oh.
President, what the hell?"
Yeah, no, okay.
So it's three lines back
trying
to
to
back.
put my notes together. I like, why is it weird? But when they do the blow up or the zoom in
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the things, why is it still blurry?
The
All the
resolution.
resolution we have.
I
It does on
found it weird
CSI
that
Miami.
Yeah, CSI Miami's still on.
So, yeah, thousands of,
course.
years into the future, there's still
course
CSI
it is.
Miami.
Is it still David Caruso?
Probably.
That
It's
just the
David
head of-
Caruso's head in a
yeah,
jar.
head in
Just taking off the glasses still.
But are the glasses on the
I did
outside of the
like-
jar or the inside of the jar?
Both.
Yeah.
He takes them off both.
Clever.
And the Who still plays.
I-
The heads of the Who.
Yeah.
So this must have been going on during the CSI primacy, where there was 8 of them running
I think
simultaneously.
even CSI Miami was over by the time this aired.
Really?
2010?
This
I never-
This wasn't 2010, was it?
yeah. Or
Really?
10 or 12.
Really? Wow, it's 8 years ago? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's how much did you
This is
ever get
June
sucked
2010?
in to the CSI
No.
series?
I've never watched an episode, so
No.
I get sucked into the supercuts.
yeah.
I mean, it was engaging until it became a parody of itself. You know, the early ones with William Peterson. I always found the juxtaposition of William Peterson from To Live and Die in L.A. versus Gil Grissom. Like, I didn't realize that they were the same person until several years later. So it's like, here's the benevolent brainiac, Gil Grissom, and he's kind of doughy. He's got his nice soft beard, and he's
definitively doughy. Not kind of doughy. He is definitely
in
doughy. Yeah.
CSI for sure.
Yeah.
But then going back and looking at him in To Live and Die in L.A., where he's like, I'm gonna base jump and I'm a crazy, devil may care, Mel Gibson-esque Lethal Weapon type action hero, and fuck the rules because man, I don't care about anything
Is he in
except
Species?
maybe.
In Species?
I think so. Yeah,
No,
but I mean, he was.
Who was that in Species?
Isn't I can't remember now.
Because
I
he's
mean-
also in that Mark Wahlberg movie. He's the dad.
Fear.
Fear, yeah.
Was he?
All these movies I watched on USA in the middle of the day.
I was going to
when
say,
was
these
in-
movies must be really bad because I'm not, like,
You never seen
pulling...
Species?
No.
Oh, you gotta see
Oh,
Species.
Species is fun.
None of this
Did you-
is clicking in
Did
my
you
brain.
see To Live and Die in L.A.?
No.
Oh, see, it's
Live and Die in L.A. is a great movie.
pretty.
What are
It's
these-
Friedkin, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's like it's just a crazy suspense thriller, but like Willem Dafoe is in it, and he's totally
Oh.
unhinged. And then-
Well, when is he not? It's like,
no, I
you
mean,
need
this is
somebody
like-
creepy who like just looks unhinged at
this
first
is-
glance. Willem Dafoe.
far and away one of his more like
I-
wingnut performances.
I have a really hard time seeing Willem Dafoe in anything after seeing Antichrist.
Oh.
I
Wow.
can't. That's all I think about.
I
Is,
just finally watched Streets of Fire, which I did not realize that Willem Dafoe was in as the young kind of villainous.
Is that
hooligan
the Diane Lane?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Is it Matt Dillon too?
No, it's not Matt Dillon. It's Matt Dillon-esque. Michael Pare. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it. I think I've heard it talked about on a bad movie podcast.
That's exactly is me as well. And then I just kind of, all right, time to check that off the list and finally watch Streets of Fire. I highly recommend it. It is very strange. So
It's-
I have to
worth the
check
game.
that one out.
Yeah, I mean, we've
It
talked
makes
about
its own world, just like Futurama. Back to the show.
exactly. Yeah, it's,
Hey, the guest isn't supposed to be the one keeping us back on track.
he's got
I'm
places
I'm
to
a
go.
taskmaster.
Yeah.
The blackout ray from the Vagini satellite planet thing was like gloopy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really couldn't figure out how that was supposed to work exactly. It was almost like
None
white
of
out.
it really made sense. They just kind of
It's-
like threw a
it's-
bunch of stuff at you.
Yeah,
and
it's.
Well-
I like the reference to like Star Trek: The Motion Picture with like the satellite kind of things fusing and becoming the supercomputer thing.
Yeah.
and then I think it just basically had its own like black hole gloop that it could just shoot or something. Yeah,
Well, what is who is BB Rebozo?
I don't know.
It's another Ask Pete who BB Rebozo is.
Hey,
Note.
Dad.
It happens a lot on
Yeah.
Hey, Pete, who's Dukakis?
I knew who that one was. Did you notice when they did do the zoom in on the solar system? Like it was everything was named the way it was supposed to, except Uranus was your rectum.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Well,
Joke.
I love
It was
good joke.
really quick.
Yeah.
I just knew that there was something in there
Right.
because they had the sign, so I did like.
it's addressed in a different
Yeah.
episode, or was it this one? It got cut. I
No,
don't
it
remember.
Was, I think it was in maybe one of the movies even.
No, because I would have remembered it if it was in one of the movies.
That
But
was
Professor
recent.
It's
says
an earlier episode.
Fry says something about Uranus, and then he goes, "Oh no, we don't call it that anymore. It's called
Yeah.
your rectum."
Yeah.
Oh, was it the one with was it War is the H word
Probably.
with the balls?
It might even been in the Smellscope episode. The first one.
Oh, that's possible.
Well, that was my first episode on Slurmcast. That was my
Yeah.
big hunk of garbage.
yeah. Or was it? No, I'm thinking of the. I don't know.
It
I don't
all bleeds
remember.
together.
It all, yeah.
Skipped over the Reptilicus reference, which I appreciated.
Which
We didn't really
one?
skip over it.
Nixon
just
calls
calls
him
Kif Reptilicus.
I thought he was just calling him that because that's what he was, or was that
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
It's a slander
Yeah,
against his, because he's really an amphibian.
of course.
I see.
Nixon's a racist. We all know that.
Yeah.
He's a dead racist.
Well,
And yet, in light of recent events, he seems so benign.
Yeah.
the sphere fired some kind of hellish blackout ray, erased that planet like 18 minutes of incriminating tape.
That's
That,
I
I
like-
understand that reference.
Yeah. I like whenever it's like a little history lesson.
Yeah.
It's nice.
it's usually good with Nixon because they will tie in that kind of stuff. Even the headless torso of Spiro Agnew
Right.
that carries him around. But the one that's eluded us this entire time, and the conclusion I've come to is just that it's because it sounds funny when he says it, is the Charleston Chew references.
Yeah.
Charleston
I was listening to that episode the other day, and I'm like, no, it's just because it's a funny thing to say, for a funny way to say it.
And
it's an old timey
And it's an
candy.
old timey candy. Exactly.
You-
I
can
was
you
literally about to say old timey, and then he said it.
can you still
Hive
buy them
minds.
though?
Yeah, they, I
Go
grew
to-
up in Rocky River, and it was like a staple for any like public area, like the ice rink or the pool or anything.
Yeah.
They just had frozen Charleston chews.
Frozen
is it?
ones?
Yeah, it was weird. It's like
It's a big kind of
it's like chocolate taffy.
taffy kind of thing. Yeah.
Weird.
Probably got to go to
They're
like
not very
BA
good.
Sweetie now or
like-
something to get that.
It's
Yeah.
like nougaty.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
Yeah.
yeah. It's a nougat, I think.
I didn't
it's
even
that.
realize it was an actual
It's a
product.
Thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's not pleasant, but it
I'm not
exists.
from here.
yeah, it's whatever. It's like it's chocolate. When you're a kid, it's like, oh, chocolate.
This is some sort of corn syrup has been fashioned into something. I will
Doesn't matter.
sign
It was
me
only
up
$1.
Might not even be chocolate.
Some of the corn syrup has been dyed brown.
prematurely. There was when the references that Zap makes to the fish in a barrel. Because it will be defenseless like fish in a barrel, and then he's going to hide in this barrel
Like the
wily
wily
fish.
That's great. There's, you can't argue with logic.
No, well, you can, and on this show I do. Specifically, if it's cartoon logic, we'll get to
Cartoon
that
logic,
later
Yeah.
because there's quite a bit of
There's
it
some
as this
cartoon
winds
logic.
Yeah.
on.
No, it's a good joke though.
When they went to the Air Force Base, though, the there was just the weird little aircrafts floating around. So the one was the balsa wood plane, which, I mean, that's basically like the thing that John Denver died in, right? Like the ultralight.
I think he died, from the ground, but
Well, I mean, yeah, crashing into it.
Oops.
But the mode of conveyance was some sort of rickety aircraft. And
that'll
God,
teach John Denver.
yeah.
Take that, Sky.
You and your mellow folk rock. Get out of here, hippie.
Chalk another win for Gravity.
There was oh shit. I know I made a note about it and I can't find it in
Did
here.
we skip over probably my favorite line of the entire episode of Bender? It was like, how does everybody feel? He's like, I haven't felt much since my guinea pig died.
No, I don't believe we've reached that part
Yeah.
yet. But yeah, poor Bender has some kind of like existential crisis happening during this episode that is just never explored. He,
That's the best.
And
He's
he's
so
barely
sad.
in it though too. And Bender's, of course, in my opinion, the best part. But
Especially this episode.
yeah.
And it's a good thing that Tom's not here because that could have gotten contentious.
Why?
'Cause he hates Bender.
Oh,
Still.
I thought he was like, he hates guinea pigs. He's like, I think they should all die.
He lives
no animal should die.
he lives in a menagerie now.
he has
be-
8 pets.
That we know of.
They're starting to
He
make
says
more.
8 because he thinks it sounds normalish, but I wouldn't be
There's
surprised
a
there's
couple
another half
dogs, a
dozen.
couple cats.
They breed like tribbles.
Yeah, it's his girlfriend is a vet tech, and I think she just brings stuff home from work.
I mean, that's probably what I would do if I was a vet tech.
Yeah.
I would just bring home like paper clips and copy paper, but I guess it's all the same
I just
thing.
have to stop myself from messaging people on Facebook to buy their kittens.
I saw that the
You
APL
don't need to
had
buy
a,
kittens.
Well, I know
they're
that's
like
like-
free.
I know. I don't also need another cat.
I can
That's the last
send you
thing I
home
need.
with a couple.
have one I
the
can't take care
APL had a Bengal, like a young, not quite kitten, but not quite adult cat, like a Bengal cat. And I wanted that cat so bad. But I'm sure, like, the second it came into the shelter, someone adopted it, like, that day.
Yeah.
Because those Bengal cats are actually super, like, expensive and sought after if you actually want to get one from anybody, a breeder or whoever has a Bengal cat there.
As you're talking about this, there's a cat that's winding his way around the
I know,
recording equipment.
he
I'm hoping it
loves me.
steps in
Getting
the
his head
outlet.
scratched right now.
He loves me. He
I
always
just,
does that.
I mean, my relationship with felines is not great.
I have 4 cats and 1 giant dog, so our house is a zoo as well.
I mean, and it's just because of these cats, really, that I just don't like cats in general anymore. But I just found out today that one of my clients, they basically have a feral cat colony on their campus, and they tore down this one building that my client's office used to be in. I'm headed out there next week, so I was like, "Oh, what happened to your cats?" And she goes, "Well, it's a lot smaller now because the coyotes started getting them."
Oh, yeah.
So, like, apparently there's a war between coyotes and feral cats going on in East Los Angeles.
Well, it's everywhere that there are
starting here,
coyotes.
too.
That's what happened to one of my mom has several barn cats.
Are
in
there
her,
coyotes in Cleveland now
horse
too?
barn. Oh yeah, they're
yeah.
they're here in Lakewood.
Cool.
People
I've
see
seen them on the tracks right there.
Yeah, there's a problem with coyotes in this city.
They've got
That's
great
People don't-
smiles, though.
People don't pick up their damn trash.
I just leave it in my car.
My car is spotless. I have a very clean car.
As is apropos of our show, this is apropos of nothing, but I was thinking today, it would not be out of line for me to want to become a professional tree climber so I could get up into this tree over my garage and poop in all of the birds' nests because they're just attacking my car. At this point, I just
It
want
seems only
some kind of
fair.
revenge.
Yeah, it seems only fair.
Payback.
It doesn't even sound
payback's a
crazy
bitch.
to me.
It is remarkable the amount of bird crap that is just in a week has fallen on there, and I try and keep up with it, but it's too much. And now it's like the squirrels aren't doing anything about it. It's just bad. It feels
Wait,
personal.
Do you think that the squirrels are some sort of like nature's janitors that should be cleaning up the bird poop?
I think they're
I
more
don't
like
understand what you mean by the squirrels aren't doing anything
Squirrels,
about
nature's
it.
mom.
Well, I think the
What does
squirrels
that mean?
are more like chaotic neutral, and they just go in and roust about the bird nests and disrupt them so that the birds wouldn't go
Knock
back
those
to
eggs
them.
out of the
Gotcha.
nest.
Perhaps,
Yeah.
perhaps the squirrels are scaring the poop out of the
They
birds.
eat all the acorns.
Oh, that's possible.
The squirrels could be part of the problem, not the solution.
I've asked if it would be okay to like.
Or maybe your car's just in the way of their poop.
You know, I don't have so much a bird poop problem because I do park under a tree, but the tree is one of those weird budding.
Pollinate.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
That's what
so
we have too.
so
Yeah.
my every day when I go out to my car, the windshield and my hood
just
are just
covered.
covered in those gross buds, and when it rains, they stick
Yep.
to my car.
Can we go back to
Worst.
Talking about animal feces?
show?
Absolutely.
No. What is a professional tree climber? Do you get paid to climb trees?
Well, like,
Is that a thing?
It's like one of those straps, and you.
yeah, I mean, I meant, like
Oh, I get
somebody
that, but he
who,
just gets to the
Just get one
top.
of them.
He's like, "Money, please," and then just goes away.
it's got to be a profession, right? I mean, like people who
guess.
who like cut down trees and stuff got to
Yeah,
know
but
how
they're
to
getting
know-
paid to cut down trees, not climb them.
Well, you know what job you'd probably end up getting a whole lot? Saving cats from trees. You would not ever want to
God.
be a professional
no, that's
tree
for
climber.
firefighters.
Well, if the firefighters didn't have to do it because there was a professional tree
I
Tree
haven't-
climber.
Now,
a
but
tree
see,
climber.
in
a
this
local.
episode, Zap brags about climbing up to the tree.
Yes.
Or climbing up the tree and gathering all the nuts and things, which of course was yet
see,
another
it's
the
lie.
very tippy
you're a better
top of the
replacement
tree.
host than
Can we?
I
Yeah,
am.
can we just hire you to keep us on track from now on? You'll be like the script supervisor.
That's funny because I
you're wandering
actually
up.
do that in my actual job. My actual life, I do that.
No, I figured out where the they explain the plan to attack the Death Sphere before they actually go to the Air Force Base because they bring in the professor
Yeah.
who's overly crazy.
The
What was it?
invisible jet.
The professor is very crazy. He talks about the tiny one-man stealth fighter and that all Death Spheres have one vulnerable opening, which is absolutely true. But the piece where they showed the balsa wood plane, I think that's where we got off onto that. I'm sorry. The sanguinette that went by, was that like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang or something? Like it was a rickety kind of steampunk looking contraption.
It wasn't Chitty Chitty. I
It's
think
like it was like a
that-
Da Vinci,
Yeah, it was Da
Yeah, I
Vinci.
think it
flying
Was it?
machine.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
was a Da Vinci flying machine.
but they were at Cape Knievel Flight Test Center.
I know.
Have you ever listened?
I don't know if
to,
that's named for evil or one of his descendants that did something really impressive.
I think it's named for evil. I
Yeah,
just
probably.
But
there's
see, you're skipping over all of the fake history that happened from between when we know about and all this thousands of years. So it could have been one of his
Evil
descendants.
Knievel's head jumped the Grand Canyon
Exactly.
twice.
Maybe they just threw it across.
He just tossed
on
it
a
across.
flying shark. I've heard tales of evil. I mean, I remember him vaguely from my childhood.
See, I'm much older than you, so I do remember it very vividly. Yeah.
Like the
It was
televised specials
Yeah,
and
the
stuff.
television specials of like Evil Knievel is going to do some death-defying bit of nonsense.
On his rocket
Let's
cycle.
all tune in and watch a potential suicide on TV, and everybody would tune in. It was fantastic television.
I mean, you can't be that much older than me. I remember the toys, so it was within that same time frame. But he was a lunatic.
Yeah.
Just like
What was it? Like late 70s, right? Like,
It's like
Yeah.
75.
mid to late 70s was his peak.
yeah. I mean, it was like.
And the whole reason you have the Fonzie Jump the Shark episode is
Yeah.
because of the Evil Knievel craze.
It was
they
during the
figured,
Snake Canyon.
Yeah. It's like trying to do just all kinds of insanity. Yeah.
Fonzie was cool as fuck, though. So
He
like,
was.
So is his girlfriend, Leather Tuscadero.
Not Chachi though.
No.
He was just watered down Fonzie.
He sucks.
And somehow he's become even worse. I mean, it was like Jackass, but Jackass. I mean,
It was Jackass meets Liberace because he had that wonderful sense of showmanship and glitter and a cape. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The Jackass guys have never worn a cape.
That's not true.
Yeah, you're probably right.
and
But that's all they were wearing. They were like
Yeah.
naked, just wearing
That
a cape.
part is true.
And then shocking each other's genitals. Yeah.
Shoving
It's-
toys in their butts.
Which reminds me, Johnny Knoxville's new movie is coming out this Friday that no one's going to go see.
what? He has a new
He has a
movie.
movie.
Because everybody
Exactly.
wanted a story of
Action.
Jackass.
It's called Action Point, and
I
it
love
is-
Jackass, and I have zero interest in seeing that.
It is, yeah. Not they have zero confidence in it, which
Johnny
is
Knoxville.
The
That's probably
right
why it
level of
hasn't been.
confidence, Yeah.
Johnny Knoxville did
promoted, or-
produce that Evil Knievel documentary, though.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
for full
It
circle.
all comes back in.
Is that available for streaming? Because I'd
I think
like
it's
to
on
go watch
Hulu. I
that.
think it's called Evil. Something.
Okay, I'll
think I've
definitely
seen
have to
that.
check that out.
Advertised to me
Yeah, I
on
think it's a
Hulu.
Hulu exclusive or something. Like
Yeah.
But so I liked when they do finally put Leela into the stealth fighter, the one man stealth fighter,
And you have
which
to sit
Zap
on-
insists.
You have to sit on his lap.
Not creepy at all.
No.
When they make it invisible, and it's like the full
Yeah.
on Wonder Woman
Yeah,
treatment.
exactly.
That was beautiful because
the animation was funny of them flying
Yeah.
around.
Yeah,
He says,
because it's
Leela
a weird
says,
angle.
lift off, and Zab says, I'll roger that, which is fucking gross.
I mean, it gets real weird after that. But what I was wondering is, or was Fry's line was, does anyone else feel aroused and jealous and worried?
Oh, and that's where Bender says, I haven't felt anything since my guinea pig died.
Yep.
But how? Okay, so if everything's invisible, how is Leela able to see the controls?
How was Wonder Woman able to see
Well,
the
at some point, it is clear that she cannot. So,
This is the beginning of the cartoon logic.
yes. So they fly into the range of the death sphere. They engage holographic targeting, and then she's
The Force.
activating the Force, and then there's a voice that is not unlike Obi-Wan Kenobi saying, where they're going to get into with the vulnerable area of the death sphere.
And this is where they determine that
Yeah,
it's the
well,
vagina.
they see that it's the Vagina, but they don't know what it is or
Because
you
the
know.
call letters aren't in the Janeway's
Yeah, so
guide.
Farnsworth and Hermes look it up, can't figure it out, and then it's the moment they should have trained
the
for.
professor goes into the chamber of understanding.
Yes,
The disco
I love
ball.
I love all of the professor's chambers and domes.
Yeah.
They're kind of my favorite
It's
thing.
the angry dome,
The angry dome.
the chamber one. I need all of those things, and I'm not sure I can get them approved by the zoning commission. But having just you don't
get a chamber of
see,
understanding.
yeah, you don't see a lot of dome architecture like you used to in the late '70s. Like if you go out into Bay Village along Lake Road, there's the ones where it's like, well, that guy. They knew
It
what
was a
going
trend,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, I always wanted one though. They had the
All-
the bulb windows.
Although I watched some documentary about like hurricane,
Yeah.
how to survive a hurricane. Basically, stop building your house like people build their houses.
Yeah.
And if you're in a hurricane zone, you need to build like things like that, like certain more rounded kind of homes. They showed a house that someone had built like a round kind of hurricane
Really?
house and right next to someone else's house that was just sticks now, and the other one had like barely any damage because the wind just goes around it because it's circular. So
That seems like
That
an
is kinda
updated
cool.
Three Little Pigs story that needs to
it
be
is
told.
totally, yeah.
Like,
But yet people still just keep building houses where they should not build houses,
yeah,
and the government
floodplains,
keeps subsidizing it. Yeah.
Florida,
Mhm.
Where else?
Orleans.
New Orleans is another one.
Well,
I don't know.
yeah, there's a tropical storm hitting them right now. So
You'd have to be a fool to live there, or just maybe you're
Yeah,
close to
all
death
you
and you
Florida
don't care.
listeners, you idiots.
Why do you live where you live?
Be better.
Stop.
I'd be more afraid of the sinkholes in Florida than I would be of anything else.
And them gators.
I'm afraid of the people.
I still would be more afraid of the sinkholes.
Still?
Because, the sinkholes are terrifying.
I mean,
Watch
people,
that documentary. It's
gators,
bizarre.
sinkholes for me.
Sinkholes. No, not gators. I'm not afraid of gators.
No?
No, if I got eaten by an alligator, I wouldn't mind because I deserve to get eaten by that alligator.
What about skunk apes?
What the fuck is a skunk ape?
Skunk ape is a Florida Sasquatch.
I knew he was trying to get this, so I'm not even
Well,
going to
is
engage it.
Is it John Mulaney's got that bit about how he was like, when I was a kid, I thought quicksand was going to
Yep.
be a lot bigger of a problem than it really is.
Yep.
Yeah, that's been memed out too, because it's
Yeah.
and it's true. It was certainly
It's in the cartoon world, it's very problematic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and now I mean I wish
And all the Indiana Jones movies.
Yep.
Or at least one of them.
is it even a real thing?
It is
I mean,
a real
it
thing,
is,
but
but
it isn't like how it's depicted. Yeah.
no, that
But
could be.
sinkholes, they swallow up a lot of things. Trees, people, cars, bedrooms,
What?
an entire IHOP parking lot.
I mean, I don't mean to get too far out of
The
your
Superman movie?
wheelhouse with
Really
this.
happened. Just go on YouTube and put in like sinkhole videos and just watch all the sinkhole videos. It's terrifying.
Do they happen fast?
Sometimes, yes.
Really?
Like, really fast. Yeah.
It's like the ground collapses
Yep.
from under you.
Yeah, and there's just nothing you can do.
Just for no reason?
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, there's a reason, and they go into like what's
Like all the
nature
science
fracking.
stuff
It's
It's
about
all
Water.
about like the water underneath, and
Yeah.
the type of soil and all this stuff.
Becomes
and,
super
When I was a
saturated
kid,
and-
when I was a kid, my grandparents had this pretty nice house in central Ohio, like a nice little community where they had a lot of really big, tall trees. We're talking like 80-foot big,
Yeah.
wide, giant trees. So I must have been like 10 years old or something, but there was this really big rainstorm and one of their trees just like fell. It had been collecting for years. The water had been draining down into the roots of this
Yeah.
tree, and there was a hole that was maybe 8 feet deep by like 10 feet,
Oh my god.
like just around when the tree fell, and it like ripped out of the ground by its roots, and that pulled up the fine layer of dirt that had been on top of this gigantic hole in the ground, and it was just water. It was like a huge hole underneath, but it did nothing to my grandparents' property except for leave a gigantic hole in about 20 feet of a tree stump. And then their back neighbors had the entire rest of the tree. I think it landed on their shed.
They
or their
turn it into like a
garage or-
swimming pool or something?
No, they filled it in with dirt and
I didn't know this was a thing I needed to fear, and now I'm terrified.
Yeah.
There's a video, speaking of trees, of a tree in like a swamp, I think in like Louisiana or something. This guy was out there like surveying for like a gas company.
Yeah.
Because when they see like bubbles coming up, they have like a gas line through there. So his job is to go out and make sure it's not a gas line leak. And while he's like videotaping this for his job, a giant like swirling sinkhole comes, and you just see this entire tree just sink and descend into
Oh my God.
into underneath the water, like some massive sinkhole underneath there.
It's a good
So,
episode of Tree
yeah.
Talk this week.
Well, but this episode does involve a tree. A person
Leela
should
does have
a
under
tree fall on her.
It really is on topic.
And I wouldn't
don't-
need to
I don't
learn to
appreciate
climb the
criticism.
trees if they just sink
Yeah.
down into the ground. It would be
Much
easy.
easier. And then you'd be able to just go up and poop very easily into all
Yeah, it
those
could be like
bird nests.
a Tex Avery cartoon where you just climb up while it's falling down.
So when they're inside
checks
the death sphere, there's all of these computer or video monitors that are sort of surveilling everything, but it's shooting its blackout goop
It's
at
censoring all
itself
the
on the
television.
inside.
Mm-hmm.
That I mean, if it, I don't understand how it could be immune to its own destructive force. That part all seems
because it
kind of
even
weird.
hits itself inside because
Yeah.
they get out before the little
The
door
icky.
closes. The little
Oh,
The
and it
incoming
just
icky.
punches it out too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, like the whole vagina thing,
Are you
like
trying to
everything after this point makes
Yeah.
zero
The
sense.
logic doesn't make sense.
That's not what Professor says. It makes the most sense of all. So they're even acknowledging that none of this makes
None of it
any
makes
sense
sense.
while
So
they're
it's
explaining
so
it
it's
to
two different.
us.
What was the first satellite?
It was.
I know the second one
Well,
was
we're
the
not
V
quite
chip.
there yet, but so we've
The
got
V
another.
chip.
Yeah, we've got another transcredible exploit of Zap
Oh.
Brannigan
Oh, right, 'cause it's
coming
a
up
back
first,
break.
where part 2, the heat thickens. It makes me laugh. This one's not quite.
and he's just
As good as the first one.
he's just laid out in the lawn, sleeping
Yeah.
nicely. But this is another one of these cartoon logic things where he's like, I can't get the tree off you, Leela, but we should take off our spacesuits.
Yeah.
That's not tree logic. That's just.
Did I say
assault.
tree logic? I meant cartoon logic because then her
trees are
suit is
naked.
completely off. So how did she get it out
Off
from
her
underneath
legs.
off of her
It
legs?
has detachable legs.
Like the guy in Jackass that has the
They're like those
tearaway
really
pants.
cool like shorts that you can like unzip on the bottom and
Mm.
make them jeans.
You
Or
can-
you don't unzip them, you zip them back on. But you can unzip them and make them shorts. I had a bunch of those when I was in middle school.
I have a preternatural fear of too many fasteners. Michael Jackson used to freak me out. Not for the reason you'd
gonna
expect,
say.
just the zipper jacket. It was.
Oh, you saw the Thriller video when you were too scared?
I was terrified of the Thriller
It
video when
is
I was young. Like
the
just when he turns into the werewolf at 8 years old, I
It is
was
super scary.
yeah, because he was so wholesome and nice back then, and then it was just like, oh my
Vincent
god,
Price
he's
cool
a,
again.
he's a monster, and it turns out he was a monster.
Is it ironic or coincidental?
I think it's just he was signifying.
Yes.
Who dresses like that to go on a movie date though?
Michael
Like
Jackson.
who
was-
dresses in head to toe red leather to go see a movie with her girlfriend?
Eddie Murphy probably.
Who is dressed up like
Listen,
a 50s
everyone
sock
cool
hop
in
girl.
the
It
80s.
was a fashion thing in the early 80s. People did actually,
Yeah.
Because of them, though, because of Eddie Murphy and Michael Jackson.
And
I mean, I
apparently
do
later
wear
on,
leather pretty
same with
frequently,
Amy.
but not to the movies. Come on.
It seemed exhausting just to exist in the 80s.
Yeah, kind of
It
was.
it was fine. But to get back to your point about taking clothes off while pinned under a tree,
Yeah.
I guess maybe there was like maybe some cut footage that we didn't get to see of how they did that. They just decided it wasn't essential to the plot.
Sure, he could have slid off the thing. I mean, they weren't going to need those clothes anymore,
Right.
Because God forbid that
Because he had-
the
what did they
temperature
say, like,
changes seasonally.
Sticky sap covered
Yes.
leaves or something. Yes.
Yep, sticky sap covered
I
leaves.
cannot imagine the kind of yeast infection she has after that.
Well, him too. I mean,
Well,
you
yeah,
don't. You
he's
don't
gonna
need
get
to-
something, but he already has what he's gonna get. Like,
I just think about, taking those off. That's not going to be fun. That's going to be like, the Kelly Clarkson 40-year-old virgin
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah.
yeah, if it
ripping
sticks
it
that
off,
well
yeah.
in that place for so long,
Yeah.
especially if it's as hot as she says it is.
Yep.
Well, and he had them front and back.
They both did, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like how he says he'll try to avert his eyes from her nudity.
Yeah.
Like not nudity, but nudity.
It's nice to see they both shave in their entire body.
Well, would you want to draw hair
Yes.
if you were Cartoon Network animators? Would you,
Yes.
Well, the Cartoon Network.
You know
is-
very little about me,
or
Michelle.
sorry, Comedy Central
Yeah.
anime? If you were a
It saved
Comedy
money-
Central
Save money
animator,
on the budget if you get rid of the body hair.
yeah, that they gotta hire like 10 extra Koreans to do that.
easily. And it's Leela's a mutant, so it's possible that she doesn't even have hair other than the purple hair on her head. We don't know. And Zap seems
He probably
Zap
shaves.
absolutely
He's an
shaves.
Yeah.
excessive manscaper.
yeah.
Let's face it.
I mean, he's clearly
He doesn't wear pants ever.
He's one of those
No.
terrible straight guys that shaves everything off and thinks that looks good, and it does not.
It
Yeah.
makes me swim faster.
It
though.
looks terrible. Yeah, because you think Zap's he's
He's a
an
very
Olympic
good swimmer.
Okay, I missed that episode.
He's got the body.
yeah, he's so light.
I mean, even he's worn girdles and stuff before too, so he seems a little bit trimmer.
I was rewatching some of
normally.
the other Zap Brannigan episodes, and there's the one where they go to the planet that has the excessive gravity, and that was like the whole joke that he's like steps out and he's like, "Come on, girdle!" Like, you know,
Yeah.
hoping that the girdle will hold up against the gravity. It does not.
He's
Spoiler alert.
he's so Shatnery,
Mhm.
and
Oh,
and it's
100%.
is wonderful.
Mhm.
Kind of apropos of nothing, but just because I like to get down about things sometimes, we've all often brought up the fact that originally it was going to be Phil Hartman doing Zap. Today is the anniversary of his death.
Oh,
Yeah, 20 years.
20 years.
terrible.
Absolutely horrible, but you know, he was so amazing.
He
And,
was.
Yeah.
and I still am waiting for some big fan to do a supercut of like, there's got to be enough recorded Phil Hartman voiceover footage that could be chopped up to
Oh,
do
to
the
make a
Zap
Zap?
Bannigan. And not to denigrate Billy West's performance on any of it. I just think like a proof of concept thing would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just rewatched Burns' Air last night, and Lionel Hutz is in that one.
Oh,
And he's also a tailor, or no, not a tailor. He's working on a cobbler. He's also a cobbler. And Skinner asks where the Orange Julius is. He's like, "I'll sell you half of mine." He's like, "Why don't I just drink out of a toilet?"
is that the one where he gives him the card? He goes, "Work on contingency."
No, it's a
no,
different-
money down.
No, buddy, down.
Oh, god damn it! I miss Phil Hartman.
Yeah.
The while everyone's trying to find them, now that they're resigned to the fact that Leela and Zap have disappeared, they vanished, they were not successful. I like that Amy's first instinct is like, let's just have an orgy, and everybody's like,
And I loved her outfit.
oh, she was done up, lots of leather, or some sort of leather substitute, I assume. But she seemed disappointed. But everybody else, like Zoidberg, was really into the Parcheesi tournament.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, who wouldn't be?
I found the board.
When was the last time you played Parcheesi?
I don't think I've ever played
Never.
it. I don't even know if I fully know what it is.
I remember playing it as a
Yeah,
child.
I think I did too, but I don't remember specifically how one.
I
Plays
kind of am
Parcheesi.
envisioning like Chinese checkers.
Or like
but that's,
backgammon. Is it kind of like that?
I mean, it's just a board game with some sort of roots in ancient Persia. That's as much as I know about it. And, you know, there's pieces and dice and some other shit. And
It's good to know
vanquish
that,
your enemies.
that board games are still beloved and exist though that far in the future.
I mean, it would have to be. There's always, I mean, almost all forms of antiquated everything end up carrying forward into the future.
good vinyl.
Yeah, you know, and then they ebb and flow. I mean,
Right.
you could make an argument the same thing about the cinema, which has its ebbs and flows too. Like I really like going to movies. It's just since my daughter was born, it's not really an option
That's
anymore.
what everybody always says.
It's
and
tough.
I
man.
always say, is your kid allergic to twine? You just tie him up.
Yeah.
See, you and I have to swap some ideas when this is off mic, because I can get behind that kind of thing. In fact, I think.
Solo and take
That
a
reminds
nap.
me, I have to finish your Parent of the Year nomination form.
Oh, perfect, because I need another trophy. The last movie, this is gonna. No, that's not true. I know that we did take my daughter to see The Force Awakens at the
Actual theater.
Central or Capitol Theater.
Capital, awesome.
And it was a Sunday morning, and it was beautiful because we were the only people in the big auditorium theater, except for one guy in the back. And it was, I mean, almost perfect.
Yeah.
'Cause
Private
it,
screening of Star Wars.
yeah, it felt like Howard Hughes.
Yeah. Well,
Except for,
I started keeping track of everything that I watch, and I'm up to 198 movies so far this year.
really?
So it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, are you familiar with Doug Benson at all?
I hate his show.
Really?
Yeah, because I have no appreciation for like kind of the stoner kind of mentality.
Right.
Me too. That's why I
So,
don't listen to
He
it.
just, I find him unbelievably.
His criticisms are just
unlistenable.
so boring.
Yeah.
He has nothing interesting to say other than it's like, I just wanted to see the Avengers together. Why'd they all have to break up?
Yeah,
It's like,
like,
well,
yeah.
okay.
I have no-
This is
no-
like your issue with the movie.
Sorry,
he never-
overlapping fans of
Yeah, he
Doug
never
Loves
made me-
Movies.
Doug Loves Movies was a great boon for this show at one point. But,
All those people have
Yeah,
stopped
fuck you,
listening by
Douglas
now.
Movies. Fuck Florida.
yeah, now that until we've alienated Florida and all the
Fuck
stoners.
birds, fuck squirrels.
I mean, the only reason I brought it up is I think it was last year or maybe 2 years ago. He had like a New Year's resolution to watch a movie every day and get like 365 movies in a year. And it just seems like it would be exhausting.
Well, I'm lucky, like I said, since my job, you know, I will may have a screener running or something while I'm sitting at my desk, multitasking,
See,
paying
that's-
80% of my attention to one job or the other at any given time. But, you know, it is, you know, it's a perk.
Yeah, I mean that would be. I guess it would be like if you were a music critic or something, you could mix business and pleasure.
If you ever need an intern,
All right.
Hear that 29-year-old.
a 29-year-old intern.
Look, if Robert De Niro can do it, so can George.
I have a home improvement podcast.
I was not expecting a Robert De Niro intern. That's actually one of the movies I didn't see. That one. Yeah, so, yeah.
We're probably all better
People always
off for
think
that,
I've seen
right?
every
I'll do it
movie,
for
but
you.
I have not seen the intern. Yeah, you'd watch that. Take that bullet
Sure,
for
why
me.
not?
Thanks.
I tried to do
Isn't that
my
Nancy Myers? Is that who that was?
I don't think it's
Right?
Nancy Myers, but
It's-
she might have. Oh, maybe
it's
it
Nancy
was.
Myers adjacent if it isn't
Yeah.
her. Yeah.
Yeah, it had Anne Hathaway, so there's a
Hathaway.
good
Yeah.
chance.
I think it was. It might have been. I don't remember. So.
Did you pull yourself out of the headphones?
She got,
I did. I
She
did
got-
that on purpose.
I got too
Oh, okay.
excited about that
Excited.
intern reference.
No,
I
just-
love De Niro as a doddering old man.
I was
trying to
cutting out, so I had to untangle my wire was really twisted.
I'm trying to figure out how we get back on topic to Futurama.
Oh, we
based-
just started talking
it's
about it
it's
again.
super
We just-
easy.
we
No, but I've
censored
been
the
so
intern.
good about bringing it back in. You know.
So we're back at Planet Express. The first satellite that launched. We have Farnsworth telling us all about what the V-Giny is.
Yeah.
The first one was the USAF Flying Destiny, which was a top secret military satellite launched by the Air Force in 1998. The other was the V-Chip satellite, which was a top secret FCC satellite launched the same year to censor indecent TV programs.
Like the Pimpsons.
Like
And
the-
Asorama.
Asorama.
I love that.
So they crashed, and the letters from V-Chip and USAF Flying Destiny turned into V-Giny.
It is a
I
very
meant-
long way to go for that joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I meant to Google to see if anyone had done any fan art for the Pimpsons or Asorama, but I didn't get to.
There's
it.
got to be a deviant art
I'm
there
sure.
somewhere.
Someone out there.
Yeah.
As people love to do their most creative deep cuts of weird pop culture references, someone has out
Probably
there.
gets into Rule 34 somewhere, and then it
Oh,
just
you don't want
goes-
to do... Yeah, I've seen that shit. I know.
No, I didn't know it was a thing, and then
The Simpsons porn's upsetting. They just looks like a bunch of people with jaundice. Like
The worst.
So not much different from like anything that you see like on YouPorn or something. Okay.
well,
well, so then the
you and I
satellite.
watch different things apparently.
Oh, I bet we definitely do. I can
satellite-
guarantee that we do.
satellite becomes sentient and starts destroying planets it finds indecent, like Poopeter.
I laughed so hard
Yep.
at Jupiter.
Poopeter.
I
Well,
was
that's
like,
because poop is funny.
Yes.
That's why we talk about it for
Unless-
20 minutes on every
unless
show.
it's all over your car, apparently.
Then
and
it's
not.
maddening. Like, I just.
Although the image of a little squirrel dressed up as a janitor, like with a little,
like Scruffy.
is
Squirrel.
I want
the janitor.
I want to see that. So
I do too. If I could train the chipmunk army that lives under my house to like clean up the bird poo on my
Is
car.
that like your Kiss Army?
No, they're just vermin
Just
that
charge them to
are
be
going to
fans,
destroy my
basically?
garden as soon as I put it in. They're little bastards. Like everybody thinks Chip and Dale are so cute, and they're
Because they are. They're basically just Indiana Jones if they were like.
yeah. I saw that meme too. And
No, it's not
Magnum
a
PI.
meme. That's my own individual thought.
I saw it somewhere
I'm
on
a
the
smart
internet.
guy, like the TV show.
Wait, was it a TV show called The Smart Guy?
Smart guy, yeah. It was the Tamir Mori. What is his name? Tia and Tamara Mori, their brother. It was on like WB or something. It was awesome.
He's a
How
smart
do you get?
guy.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
We found a rabbit hole I don't want to go down.
It's because we're young and you're not young,
It was
as
really
young as
cool.
we are.
That's a really
let's
nice
get back
way
to talking
put
about
it.
Evil Knievel.
He was a 10-year-old in high school, or was it college? I don't remember.
I found it totally unsettling with Zap not being a creep. Like that whole aspect of him, which is revealed later to be just a put on, but where he's being
Yeah.
very chivalrous and things is
It was so out of character that you had to suspect that something was wrong.
Yeah, because I mean, they had the snake, which they never really
The
resolved.
snake makes zero sense.
If it was an actual like hallucination brought on
Yeah.
by dehydration or what.
It's only there to like double down on the Adam and Eve thing.
Yeah, I don't.
Which I feel like was already like established.
Yeah, I think it's just a throwaway, gag. But
And Leela's like, do you think she hallucinated the snake? Like,
No,
do you think that
because-
was like in her head that she was
because
like,
doesn't he see it
Zap
too? And
sees
then
it
he
too.
says
Oh.
no because we're dehydrated, but he isn't dehydrated because, as we find out later,
do you think the snake was in on it? Do you think like, do you think Zap was
That
like,
snake
hey,
was
could you
complicit.
be
He bribed it with
Yeah.
cigars.
or Perrier or
It's like,
Slim
Or
Jims?
was it part of the hologram that Zap has later on?
it's
could be.
possible.
Which, again, doesn't help with the story.
No.
It still doesn't make sense. But
Well, so with the Planet Express crew decides to go warn everyone about the Death Sphere, and they're like, certainly we won't look crazy dressed like a bunch of
dress
lunatic
down.
prophets. Yeah, with like sackcloth and then the signs like literally saying the end is nigh, which
right in front of the pubic library.
Yes.
yeah, that whole thing with Sal and Petunia.
I don't want no $3 hooker.
I mean, that's a basically a 33% reduction in cost.
That's coupon. That's good. It's good savings.
Yeah.
It's like space age Groupon.
Right,
hookers.
but still a cash transaction,
Hook
which
on?
was the interesting
Yeah.
part. I mean, you'd figure it'd be completely eliminated, unless you only use cash for illicit transactions in
They
the
had
future.
cash in a bunch of episodes. They had the cash in the $100 or $1,000 episode or whatever it was.
300 big boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because Fry puts
Were
the
they the
cash in
Nixon
the
bucks,
thing.
though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I thought that was like a new thing. Like they issued the Nixon bucks as a new.
I think Nixon bucks are just what they call dollars. Well, they're Earthicans,
I think
so
that's
it's
just
not
the
like
money
the
now
U.S.
because they live in
dollar.
a fascist
I'm
regime.
practicing selective amnesia. Just leave me alone.
I don't practice selective amnesia. I just don't remember anything
Can
most
we
of the
discuss,
time.
though, just for a moment, inflation and how much would $3 1,000 years from now actually be worth?
That's
Like, is
true.
that really like the equivalent of like 2 cents now? Because if you go onto the inflation calculator, which is one of my favorite things to do, I don't know if you guys do this when you watch an old film, and they talk about like that dress costs $500 and it's 1937. So I go onto the inflation calculator and
Yeah.
I'm like, how much was that dress if you bought it now? And it's like $17,000.
Is that on just like the IRS.gov
Yeah, if you
or something?
just like Google like inflation calculator and it comes up and you can put
Check
in
that out.
the
Well,
you know
like-
how much money was then and it tells you how much it would be worth now.
But our civilization was destroyed a few times.
Well,
at least,
it-
and-
So
Yeah.
it's reset. Is that what
Yeah.
you think?
But
Okay.
there's a non-linearity to it because there is the episode with a fistful of dollars where Fry had like 13 cents in his bank account and
Right,
now
and
he's
it's
got
worth-
billions
yeah,
of
right,
dollars.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then there was another thing where like the cost of something was basically the same as it was 1,000 years ago, and so I don't know. I mean, I think the civilization collapse thing could work, or maybe it was Fry's money.
Yeah,
was
because a
stored
cup
in
of
some sort
coffee is
other
still
piece.
$1.
Yeah, but then like when they went to the there was an episode where they were buying like snacks at a 7-Eleven or 7 to the 11th or whatever, and it was like a pack of gum was like $99
Yeah.
or something. So I think it just
So there's
whatever
just
works.
a plot inconsistency, is what we're saying in the world.
I mean, on the other hand, Petunia really doesn't look like she's a high end anything. So,
So
she
2
might be
cents
hot
might be
stuff
what
in
it's
Nutley,
worth.
New
Okay.
Jersey.
She
but
needs fare for the bus back to Nutley.
it's there was something that stuck out to me. I think it was when they were doing like a wide shot around Planet Express at this point. There does seem to be a significant overall improvement in the animation quality. And I don't know, was this show always done digitally from the original series or
It was painted digitally, but I think it's always been animated the same way.
really?
As far as I know, I mean, I don't know. There's definitely like more production value in the Comedy Central episodes, or maybe it's just because they're.
Technology got better.
Well, I think they
cheaper,
might have
faster.
animated in HD or
Oh,
broadcast
okay.
in HD. So that might be.
Well, by
I don't know.
2010, everybody was doing HD at
Yeah.
that point. So
Yeah, because what the show went off the air in 07? Something like that, right? The original series.
Yeah.
So yeah.
before that,
So yeah,
It's
HD wasn't really like it
2003.
was a thing, but it wasn't like as accessible.
3 or 4.
So where's Tom with his Infosphere.
I mean, I got the same website up he does, but I don't have the internet.
Ooh, burn. And I'm supposed to be the bitchy one. Jeez.
all she has to do is ask for the password, which is some series of numbers that I
Yeah,
can't
I'm the
ever
new Tom
remember.
now.
I could look it up on my phone. That's got cell phone.
So they go to this remote island to try and trick the Death Sphere, and then they're going to commence a purity chant. But what exactly does the purity chant consist of? I don't think they ever actually
They never do it.
do
and
it.
They just kind of
because Bender's like teasing
he's
the
doing
transmitter.
his great little sex joke there, which
Yeah.
you were doing earlier with the plugs.
Yeah, I was jacking it on.
Yeah.
And the transmitter really seemed to be enjoying it. Like that certainly.
Well,
seemed
actually,
to-
I don't think that it was because you were not having much success at first.
What was the island's called? The island name called? Because they announced it. They showed a name of
Just
it. but
it's the Loihi Island in the Pacific Ocean is what it said. So I don't
okay,
know.
so I wasn't sure if it was.
I don't
a
think
joke.
that's a joke.
It's just
No.
like it's a weirdly specific place to mention if there's.
It's
literally no
probably
reason.
like one of those inside jokes. Like one of the writers.
Yeah,
had
it's
like
some
this name
smart
in there or
shit,
something.
probably.
It's probably a little. Like,
I mean, it's supposed to be like Lowy High or something.
Yeah, it was LO''IHI.
Smart people, the worst. With the realization Zap has when he now that he's convinced Leela that the Earth is gone and they're going to repopulate it, and then he's like, he realizes like they'll have children and then the children will have to breed, and he just like, ooh.
is that what happened in the Bible?
Less Sodom and more Gomorrah.
Leela got real like. She was just like, okay, yeah, I guess we're having sex now, like
Yeah.
real
Well,
quick.
because she's dehydrated and delusional.
That's
Yeah,
a fair
she's
point.
seeing a talking snake.
But the history
Might
of,
have brain damage.
the history of Leela and him. I mean, they've
Yeah, I mean, they've
already-
had sex
Yeah,
before.
they've had
Yeah.
sex before, so it's sort of like, well, whatever.
I mean, yeah, she's sort of resigned. I mean, she does resign herself quickly, but she's also certainly compromised. It's
Compromised, pinned under a tree.
well, yeah. I mean, it's like Misery, almost.
Was that like? Was the show that Naked and
Naked and Afraid?
Is
Yes,
that
that's what it
real?
was. That's a
Yeah.
real show.
It's like they throw you in the wilderness naked and you just
Two
Why?
strangers. It's like a dating show meets Survivor meets blurred out nudity. Yeah.
Because we're getting one step closer to idiocracy every single day.
Yeah.
I mean, it does seem like 2 clicks off "Ow My Balls."
I would watch the fuck out of Ow My Balls. Everybody makes that joke, but I absolutely would.
I think isn't that basically what 60% of America's Funniest Home Videos was?
That's
in
what
the
all
first
Jackass
place?
was.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's
And I own the
entertaining.
entire series of Jackass, and I love it.
And you're still gonna avoid this new Johnny Knoxville movie.
Yeah, because I
Tell
don't
him.
need a story. Like just kick a guy in the balls and then just be like, okay, here's the next guy.
Just indulge my sadism, please.
At a certain point, though, it just is sad when you watch like Johnny
yeah,
Knoxville.
the
who's,
trailer's
like-
really depressing.
It really is. It makes you feel.
Uncomfortable.
It really crosses into some new level of self-exploitation that even though the show has always been that, like
Yeah.
it just seems even kind of stranger now.
It's
I
like
don't know.
that Kyrie Irving movie.
Oh,
What?
That one looks just as
Uncle,
sad.
Wait,
Uncle
what?
Drew.
Yeah.
That looks. Yeah, with the intentionally terrible.
I still
makeup.
don't know who that movie's for.
Yeah.
He's a Kyrie Irving is a flat earther, so
This, by the way, is the most I've talked about sports ever.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Well, it's come up on here before, but usually
It just
related
keeps
to
popping up in
mascots.
front of movies I'm going to see. Like I saw Deadpool the other day, and it was like, here's the Kyrie Irving movie and the Johnny Knoxville movie. I'm like, I just
Are they trying
me
to? I mean,
Deadpool,
is
like-
it supposed to be like a Shazam type situation?
no, they're like old people.
Yeah.
They're all doing old age makeup. So I think Shaq's in it.
Someone told me that that's like a reference to a character he does on a commercial.
Yeah, it's
and
like a
now
Sprite
they've-
commercial
Now
or
they've
something.
adapted it into a feature film because that's the world we live
And
in.
Nick-
like the
All right.
cavemen.
Nick
Yeah.
Kroll's in it.
Oh, what?
Well, Nick Kroll was in Cavemen too.
I did kind of like Cavemen.
Nick
I
Kroll.
haven't seen it since I was.
You got to get
it was
paid.
on.
Everyone has bills.
Yeah.
but
I mean,
he's
Nick Kroll for me is either hit or miss. Like,
I think
I
he's
either
doing
really
like, a Bobby
like
Bottle
what he's
service.
doing or I fucking hate what he's doing. Like, there's no like Nick Kroll's okay. It's just
Yeah.
like either super funny or really bad. There's
love
no in
Kroll,
between.
that.
Yeah, I don't know. Really liked Big Mouth.
Yes.
Yes,
Big Mouth is great.
Big Mouth is very good.
but he's
And
he's,
Oh Hello is amazing.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
I was I like Oh Hello very much, but I found the live special I think it got overhyped for me.
The Broadway
Did
one?
you see? Did you see the actual?
I saw the Netflix version. I actually.
I'm going to be fancy for a moment, and I saw it on Broadway.
Yeah.
Oh,
With
nice.
F. Murray Abraham was the guest
Really?
that day.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was pretty awesome. It was actually one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time.
Did it? I would have to imagine it did vary from night to night.
Yeah, absolutely. There was stuff that like we saw in that show that isn't in like because they do little improv stuff, and actually
Sure.
the thing that my best friend and I still quote from that wasn't even in the show, and if I did it, you wouldn't think it's funny at all, so I'm not even going to reference it. But it involved a raccoon's paws. That's all.
Just yesterday, I was watching an
funny enough for
interview
me.
with Nick Kroll and John Mulaney, and they were talking about how that was their favorite show that they did was the one with F. Murray Abraham because he didn't know what he was getting into. He agreed to do it.
It was great.
Yeah, they said that he agreed to do it, and then he showed up, and someone
He
said,
did seem a little confused.
someone was like, well, he showed up. He didn't run through it with them whatsoever. He had to go to some birthday party or something because he had just gotten in town and was doing like two things at once. And it was like, well, I may as well go on Broadway and do this silly show while I'm in town. So he left and then he came back. Someone asked him if he wanted something to drink, and he said champagne. So they John Mulaney said that like he had a bottle of champagne. He doesn't drink, so it was like a congratulations, you're on Broadway gift that he just left in his dressing room.
That's
so they
great.
went and got that bottle for him and gave F. Murray Abraham a glass of champagne. And then he walked out on set and was just super confused
Yep.
and did not know what he
So
was
you
doing.
saw lightning in a bottle.
I
and
did.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great.
it
I
was a
wish
good one.
I'd seen it.
Yeah, I tried. Like we were in New York during the run, but it was well after tickets had sold out, and then they were just absurdly expensive.
Yeah.
And again, our daughter was with us, and like at 6 years old, she was not going to sit through an oh hello sort of thing. And I mean, I've considered like some hotels will have babysitting services, but
And that's what you want to do.
That seems
Yeah.
wildly
Again,
irresponsible.
I'm going to put that down on your Parent of the Year nomination.
Well, I didn't do it. I mean,
But
I
you
didn't,
thought about
but
it.
I thought about it. I mean, how much trouble could you get into?
Well, if she
Don't
ever
answer
gets
that.
into trouble, you can send her over to my house to have her pick up the garbage in my yard because I'm looking for a kid. If you live in the Lakewood area, I am looking for a child to pick up the garbage from my front and backyard.
Why does it have to be a
That's what-
child?
That's what children are good for.
Because I don't feel right paying an adult to pick up my trash.
I
Could
was
you
at
just
a,
make your roommate do it?
We paid an
No.
adult to pick up all the dog poop out of our yard. So
Oh,
I mean,
I
there are
guess.
adults that'll do it.
There's
Yeah.
like whole
I mean,
services
that's
you can
TaskRabbit
hire.
right there. Just
Yeah.
get on there.
I was at a
I just-
coffee shop one day, and there was like on the billboards of it, like all the things people hang up. One of them was just a picture of a child, and it said Tyler, child helper. And I just,
Does
I
he
was
help
like,
children or is he a
I
child?
don't know.
Is he like Cleveland's Evangeline, where he just has his own billboard? He's just out there self-promoting himself for no reason at all.
But he was just giving out his number and his email address. He's like 12.
I love
And
it.
it's just-
Child helper.
And the thing is, that could be
Dangerous.
well, it's certainly dangerous, but that could either be him being like, "Fuck you, mom and dad, I'm going to earn enough money to go buy this game at GameStop," or it could be really oblivious parents being like, "You need to go out and earn your keep, son."
it's very much the parents made it.
Yeah.
Like you need to get some money. You need to learn how to save
Be
money.
responsible.
You're going to earn this money,
Go
but
out
you're not
there.
going to be able to spend it.
And take money from strangers. I don't care what for.
You're going to learn how to trick, son.
It's the Bone Storm episode of Simpsons. Like,
My yard just constantly gets filled up with trash because there's a bus stop right in front of my house and people just throw their trash on the ground, which sucks because I begged the city of Lakewood to install a trash can in front of my house and they did, and no one uses it. I was finding I find shit like bottles of Robitussin that people just put in my front, like the bushes in front of my house next to my walkway. Like,
well, I got the number of Tyler if you
Yeah,
want
I
him.
was gonna say.
okay,
Sounds like we got someone ready.
I'll
and
call
willing.
Tyler the child helper.
Child helper.
Child helper.
It's oh god.
Yeah.
That's my favorite
I
thing.
feel that could be the new S Town. It's what is Tyler the child helper?
There's I live next to there's the bus stop. There's a dumpster in the parking lot next to where I live where the pizza place throws all their trash.
Yeah.
So there's always like GFS bulk boxes like flying out of that dumpster because they do a really awful job of closing the dumpster lid, and then if it's windy, it just blows everywhere. So there's always trash like in my
coyotes and skunk apes running through it.
I try to pick it up, but it's just it's hard to keep up with all of the trash. So yeah, I'm just this
Speaking
summer
of trash, Zap's
for...
plan is trash.
Yeah,
it is.
His whole fucking thing is just like it doesn't even make sense.
But he still gets Leela to make out with him.
Yeah, like through
deception.
They fuck at the end of it.
Well, that's because the aliens
under duress.
Yes, under duress.
She took one for the team there.
Yeah, because the Vagini.
Leela saved Earth.
Yeah.
Was that Paul F. Tompkins?
It was.
No, it was Chris Elliott.
Yes, Chris Elliott.
Oh, it was Chris Elliott?
Yeah.
Shit.
I didn't realize that until later either.
I knew it would be somebody.
Like
so
the fifth time I watched it, I was
it didn't sound like a
wait.
main cast member. So
No.
I was like,
But as the reveal comes with Zap's horrible plan, and she just starts piecing together the logic that doesn't work, his grunts and groans, that was maybe my favorite.
yeah, that stuff was very funny.
Yeah.
He just his inability to just
He's
come
like
clean with
crying
it.
in middle. Like,
Yeah, I love it.
It was weird hearing Fry say, take a dump.
Yeah, this looks
It's
like
not
a good
something
place to
that I
take a dump.
expect to hear from any of these characters.
Well, this is the Comedy Central era, though. I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's a Vagini is a running joke throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, they're really taking
I was
advantage
surprised
of it.
because I noticed some of that stuff too. So I looked, like who wrote this one? It was actually story by and co-written by Grain Egg.
Yeah.
Really?
And the woman that wrote it with him, I can't remember her name, but it was the only one she ever was like credited on. So I thought that was interesting because it would make sense if there was one person that only ever wrote one that you get those kind of inconsistencies. But you'd think when you have the show's creator, there'd be a much more consistent kind of character.
Yeah, but Groening's kind of a notoriously bad writer. Like anything he's written for The Simpsons has been pretty bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So I just thought that was kind of interesting too.
Yeah, they really don't have a lot of plot going on, and it just gets filled out with. I mean, like they stretch out the grunty gags from Zap because there's like 9 layers to it. Where it's like it's the trail mix.
Well, and
the water,
and there's 3 of the transcredible exploits. Is it 3? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
There's
seems-
one
So
at the
that's
end.
kind of like filler right there. You know what I mean? Like,
Which is another thing like that is confusing when you think that they have to shorten the intro and they have all of this filler.
Yeah.
There's like it's so weird.
But
Like,
his ability to come up with the fake hologram of the Earth blowing up, like that seems wildly beyond his intellectual capacity.
well, but he's very proud of it.
Oh, he should be. He should be because that's like
Isn't
he'd
that
never
what he
come up with
says?
that
He's
on his
like,
own.
I'm actually pretty proud of this one.
But she didn't notice that the telescope was made out of a toilet paper.
That's right.
I don't believe that Leela couldn't lift that if Zap could.
I
feel like
think
they're
it's
on
a
par.
question of leverage.
Yeah, it's
they
probably
didn't. They
true.
didn't try hard enough.
You know, even if you were, I think she's stronger than him. Period.
Yeah,
But if you're pinned underneath, you couldn't reach forward to get a good.
that's fair.
You know, it's that was the one piece of logic in the whole thing that made sense to me. But the when she finally gets free and she's enraged after this is all come to light that he tricked her and they're really on Earth and they're getting rescued and everything, when she jumps over to fight him, the first thing that came to mind was Eastern Promises. just the two of them, like really.
Cinema's greatest taint and asshole fight.
Yeah, which has come up like 4 times in the last 3 days, just in completely unrelated
taints and
context.
assholes,
I don't know if I've conjured it out of, the ether, because first it was this, and then I went to a Memorial Day cookout.
And then you went to a Turkish bath.
No, well, at the Memorial Day cookout, the subject of Turkish baths came up, unprovoked. And then, oddly enough, the guy who was talking about it is a tattoo artist and, covered head to toe in tattoos. So then there's that. But then today, as I was scrolling through whatever social media feed, there was a story about how Putin's Russia became the haven of these mafia oligarchs, and they used a picture of Viggo Mortensen,
That's funny.
topless, and in his Eastern Promises fake tattoos and everything as the cover picture on that. So Alexa is listening, and it's all feeding back into things, but. That's a wildly uncomfortable scene, just as uncomfortable as watching Leela beat
I
the
watched
shit
that
out of
movie with
Zap.
my mom.
Oh, boy.
We didn't finish it.
My mom loves Viggo Mortensen. I wonder
That's
if
exactly
she...
why. Yeah, we went to go see Lord of the Rings, and she got all hot and bothered watching that. So she's like, well, we got to watch all of Viggo Mortensen's movies now.
I would imagine she got more hot and bothered her.
Our moms would get along.
I mean, there's a lot. Vigo is not afraid of showing, obviously,
Yeah.
part of his body, when it's integral
He's got
to
a
the
good
plot.
dong. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've appreciated it, so thank you, Vigo.
It's I think
Thank you, Viggo.
Thank
what's
you, Vigo.
I think A History of Violence. He gets pretty. Him and Maria Bello both.
Well, his Captain Fantastic movie, he also does Full Frontal. That he just got
That sounds
Oscar nominated for a
right,
couple
yeah.
years ago.
What's that one about?
He's like a dad that has his kids living out in the woods, kind of like a survivalist kind of thing, and then they're gonna take him away from him.
I almost
I
grabbed
didn't
that from the
actually-
library today.
The,
Yeah,
the trailer
I've
made it look
never-
over sentimental. I was like,
I never watched it because it has an opening scene that involves like a deer being killed or
Aw.
skinned or
Yeah.
something
Ooh.
and again, vegan animal rights guy has a real hard time watching like animal violence kind of
So
thing
he's
on
not
screen. So I've
an
never seen
actual
it.
ship captain or a superhero.
He
in
is
this.
not. No,
No.
he's just a dad teaching his kids how to skin things. So way to go, Dad.
yeah.
I'm failing as a parent, apparently.
Or succeeding. I think if you've
Yeah.
managed to get through life without teaching your children how to skin anything, you're probably a better parent than most.
The only thing my dad taught me was not talk to my dad.
We should have him as a guest.
No, we shouldn't.
Daddy's working.
He's in Florida right now, the trash state.
Well, there's a lot of sinkholes. You might,
Yeah. If the sinkholes don't get him, the
No,
gators or the skunk
He's the
might.
sinkhole that came to Florida.
ooh, that's a wonderful B movie that you might see in an episode of the Transplendent or what is it? The Transcredible Adventures of Brax.
I think we've discussed your father off mic when I was on your show. So
entirely
I've got
possible, yeah.
I've gotten Cliff's Notes
Yeah.
version. So they had to consummate their union, or the death sphere would destroy the Earth.
Yes,
And-
I didn't get that part. I didn't understand why the Death Sphere was like, you two fuck, and then we'll be okay.
Approved for all audiences.
Like it said the words, but it wasn't like clicking in my brain.
Because it's funnier than
Yeah.
a robot making two people have sex is funnier than a robot making people not have sex, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah. It is ultimately a comedy show.
Yeah, I mean it just it kind of loses steam at the end of the episode
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
And
I don't think this one goes up in the, annals of greatest Futurama episodes. So,
no,
And if this is the second one back,
yeah,
like I think this might have been the episode where I'm like, because I liked the first episode because it had my fry froze all frizzy, which is probably my favorite
Hey, Professor,
of the
my fry
new
froze off
new
right
season jokes. But like, yeah, this was like, no, thank you, I'm not into this.
it's tonally shifted, and my understanding is that the quality is spottier as these seasons wind down.
Yeah, I mean, like the first half of this season gets like they really play with the fact that they're on Comedy Central and they can get away with more stuff.
Yeah,
So it does kind of go off the deep end a little bit, but it does kind of find its footing.
It does.
After a while.
It does get better. This one is not a shining example of the
so
Comedy
thanks for having me
Central.
on for this one.
yeah. That's the thing when
We gotta get some episodes in the bank before Pete disappears for the next 3 months
I'll
on
be.
work trips.
Oh, it's coming, and it's gonna be rough. Yeah, I mean that's one thing where I do plead ignorance when we do go. I just look at the spreadsheet and go, "This is the name of the episode. Who's available?" And then plug it in. And then sometimes people go, "Oh, that's my favorite episode," and then it's a serendipitous thing. And other times we all just have to suffer through it. But at least you didn't have to watch the films because that was like 4 episodes at a
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
and watching it and talking about it was just exhausting.
Yeah,
and,
you had some
and-
asshole for the first movie. And it was like,
Yeah, Devin's the worst.
yeah, I know. I work with him every week.
No, it's now we're at least back to this regular rhythm, and we can kind of make it manageable. Any final parting thoughts about this apparently weak ass episode of Futurama?
I think the things that I liked the best were the kind of just the throwback to the serial, his dreams.
Yeah.
Brannigan's dreams, I think, were some of the just creatively fun parts. And I enjoyed his.
Oh, the grunts.
That's yeah, but that doesn't say that it's I don't think there's any amazing. Oh, the throwaway line about which first lady is it again? Eisenhower.
Oh, yeah,
Mrs.
Mrs.
Mrs. Eisenhower.
Eisenhower. That was pretty good. Actually, I had to rewind it because I'm like, wait, what did they say? Like, cause I don't think I fully paid attention at first, and I thought I missed something good, and I did.
And you don't see many gentlemen wearing evening gloves out and about, especially not as part of their military uniform anymore.
Well, I was gonna say, depends on where you're going.
Yeah, well,
I see
I mean,
a lot
certainly.
of gentlemen in evening clubs. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I mean, is it part of a full ensemble though? I mean,
Sometimes.
and sometimes just I basically only wear gloves in cold weather, and they certainly aren't dressy. But it's something I could explore because
That could be your new thing.
Yeah, it's.
I wish they
Need to
brought
follow
back
him into
gloves
the new
for
world.
ladies. I would wear gloves
You
for
can-
ladies.
Bring them back. Who's stopping you?
I don't have that
true.
style. I don't have the.
I
You got to make
disagree.
your
I
style.
think you
Everybody
could do
makes
it.
their own style.
I've seen a lot of the clothes that you sell on the internet, Michelle. I think they would fit with some of the outfits
think
you've
you could
got in the
totally do
closet.
Yeah.
You can be the Kanye of Cleveland, except like not Kanye.
Only not terrible.
Yeah, I would. I would never say that slavery was a choice,
Would you?
which he said.
I mean, he was
I don't
referring
know
to a
if I believe you,
specific type
Michelle.
of slavery. I think there's other ones where it actually is, but not the ones he was.
This is
talking
getting into
about.
a weird part of the podcast.
Yeah, sorry.
I think he's a nut.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely wear like nice. I used to have some nice gloves from the '60s that were my grandmother's that I inherited
Lost
to
in a
play
sinkhole.
to play dress up. No, they're probably like in
Well-
a tub somewhere.
Years ago, I bought a pair of Phyllis Diller's gloves at a silent
Like
auction.
actually
Really?
her gloves.
Yeah, actual Phyllis Diller's actual gloves
Wow.
as a silent auction item, and never did anything with them. Never, properly did anything. So I redonated them to another charity. So someone else that
That's
would
still
like them
cool,
more.
though.
That's
But it's
cool.
one of those things that I regret that
I
don't
bet
still
she had the
have.
daintiest of hands too.
They were small little hands. I mean, yeah, they were small little gloves.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
That's-
people only use like those kind of gloves for like fetish stuff now.
And
Phyllis
Yeah.
Diller
I'm not-
fetishist? That's what I'm going to say.
That's my
that
kind of
is a
fetish right there.
You mean me?
I was going to say, now we're definitely, maybe we are watching the same thing. I don't know.
I mean, her work on Scooby Doo was
Top
impeccable.
drawer, yeah. Really. Amazing.
Well, we talked about animal feces, so we got that checked off the box.
And finally got to Phyllis Diller.
Yes.
So-
Finally.
And
Which
her
I-
fetishes.
Which I think is a first on this show, and I'm pissed that it took 85 episodes to get there.
Well, it took you that long to get me on here, so there you go.
This is true. We can have you back on if you'll visit us again, and that will make that happen
Talk
quicker.
to my people.
I'll do that. So, where can people find you on the internet if you want people to find you?
Well, you can watch my show on YouTube, Bitchy Vegan Homo on YouTube. The second episode just went live today where I'm teaching you how to make delicious vegan cinnamon spice pancakes.
Ooh.
And also the website, bitchyveganhomo.com, filled with lots of delicious ideas.
Have you done any sort of crossover with Instant Pot cooking?
I have not, except for when I did a cooking demo at the Veg Fest a few weeks ago. I did use an Instapot to heat up the massive amounts of vegan queso that I had made for
And?
samples. It worked amazingly well. It heated that shit up in like 7 minutes.
It's pretty great.
yeah.
I mean,
Under
if
the pressure cooker thing. Yeah.
if you need some assistance, I've got the Instant Pot in the other room. Michelle's got a sous vide.
Yep.
yeah.
So we're game. We can mess up your show real
I
good.
borrowed my sister-in-law's, so it's at the house right now, but I haven't explored other than heating up vegan queso.
It's I mean, not what you want to hear, but it's great for like doing slow
Killing
cooked
animals?
meat and things.
Oh yeah, that's horrible.
I mean, I wouldn't put animals in it to kill it, but if they're already dead, and
Yeah, you've
Just
killed them.
put it
You've
in there
killed them.
like
You've killed them with your dollars.
yes.
So-
But I've also made like delicious banana bread.
Oh.
It does all kinds of things. It's really it's a remarkable
amazing, huh?
device. Yeah, everyone should have one.
Well, pretty soon everyone will.
I wish we had an affiliate link because then we could make people buy them with it. But we're
We
dummies.
should. We should.
Send him an email, dude.
Yeah, we should.
After you told him to fuck Florida, I feel he'll definitely watch it.
It'll be great if they're based in Florida. Yeah.
yeah.
Somebody send Instapot a link to our podcast and go like, you should sponsor these guys. They really talk about you like
tweet
every
at 'em.
episode.
We love Canada, and that's where Instant Pot is from. It's perfect.
Oh, Canada.
And then go patronize movies at Cleveland Cinemas.
Cleveland Cinemas. Yeah, that's the thing that pays the bills is working for Cleveland Cinemas. So
And there's regular release stuff, but also arty films and limited release films and
we
special
do all the
event
fun
films.
stuff here in town and in Pittsburgh. If you're in Pittsburgh, we have a theater there as well.
Really?
The South Side Works in Pittsburgh.
That's
My
news to
hometown.
me. That's you're
It's not the
expanding.
easiest thing operating Cleveland Cinemas in Pittsburgh. That's all I'll say.
No.
That
Sports.
definitely doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
There can't be that much overlap though between the diehards, is there?
The
A lot
Art
of
House
people in
crowd.
Pittsburgh didn't want to buy a gift card that said Cleveland Cinemas on it, so we don't sell those
Oh my
anymore.
God.
Yeah.
That's
There's some
Well,
people.
Thing. I
Fuck
mean,
'em.
if they had like Pittsburgh
I mean,
cinema here,
they're
probably
they're
do the
both
same
my,
thing.
my hometowns now, so it's
Yeah.
hard to. I don't understand, especially as someone that doesn't ever have any patience for sports related kind of nonsense.
right.
Even though I like some sports, but I don't understand people that get their entire identity from their home sports
Yeah.
team. I think that says that you probably don't have much of a personal identity.
Yeah.
So,
Pittsburgh's a beautiful town too. Like,
It is. It's
Other than
a
the
lovely
fact that
city.
they're in incessant need to color that piss yellow, like
Every,
it's
but see the thing
Those,
that's
there's like bridges, like
That
giant bridges. There's more than
Yeah.
one.
I
that
know.
they were ahead of the curve though. If you think about it, like here in Cleveland, everything has different color schemes.
Yeah.
Everything in Pittsburgh is black and gold. So
Yeah.
like you can buy one thing and you can wear it to anything and you look like you're appropriate.
Oh, I
So
mean like
it's
the
very-
Pirates and
everyone-
the Steelers
everyone-
and
Pirates, Steelers, the Penguins, it's all black and gold. So
Yeah.
See.
and then the bridges are painted like that. So it all just has a sort
and we
of,
just have a racist logo. So you know.
they're phasing that one out, but our other sports team is a euphemism for assholes. So there we go.
Hey, speaking of
Browns?
racist, did you hear that Roseanne got canceled because Roseanne Barr
did.
had like a
I
racist
don't
tweet?
want to talk about that right now.
bless her.
Okay, we'll talk about it later.
Off mic. Well,
Thanks for having me.
yeah.
though.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for
coming
coming.
on. We hope to have you back soon.
Thanks to George for guest
Yes.
hosting
Yes.
as
Thanks for
well.
having me.
We're gonna take you out to go spring Tom from the Sasquatch trap that he's
Ooh.
locked in.
I like
Someone who's walking me out to my car to make sure I do not get it.
You don't get squashed.
You just have to worry about coyotes out there.
I'm fine with a coyote. Again, if I get killed by an animal, I deserved it, so it's fine.
Yeah, they're-
Sasquatches are just American Wookiees, so it's like
we can be found at slurmcast.com.
That does make it a little better.
We have all of our episodes there and a link to our T Public shop where you can buy T-shirts that give us fractional cents on the dollar back into our coffers that help pay for this low rent operation. You can email us at slurmcastpod@gmail.com. We are on Twitter and Instagram at slurmcastpod. We're on Facebook. You can rate and review us in iTunes. And if you're feeling extra randy, you can call or text us at 216-438-1077. We're still waiting for some people to review us some more so Michelle can tell another art school
Yep.
story.
And speaking of Randy, you should listen to George's new
all right. That was a better
podcast.
transition than I could.
It's Pod Improvement, right?
Yeah, I've decided to make an endurance test with me and my friend, and we're just going to watch every episode of Home Improvement. And we're going to talk about it. So it's called Pod Improvement. It's on SoundCloud and iTunes and Google. I'm not really trying with this thing. It's
No,
really,
and then there's a Second Shot podcast as well,
and
which
Second
we've
Shot, yes.
all been on, and is
You
a
all know that one.
Yeah, apparently Tom's going to be on tomorrow
Yeah, supposed to be. Yeah,
if he gets sprung.
if he's not dead from
I just
Sasquatches.
love that you just said, I'm not really trying.
I'm really
mean-
not. Like I was like we do like they're like 20-minute episodes, and I'm just like. Like we try and make it as fun as possible because
I had to listen.
I hate this show.
I had to listen to your first
That
episode
sounds-
with one of my earbuds out because the
Yes.
left side was just like.
The first episode is broken, but the rest of them are not.
I
other
feel
than
like
the
you
fact that
could-
it's a Pod Improvement.
You
Yeah.
could go on Craigslist and hire someone to beat you up for free
What
rather
was
than
that
having
kid's
to
name?
watch Home Improvement.
Just hire that little kid, Trevor.
Tyler.
Tyler, child helper.
Hire Tyler.
I'm gonna find this picture. I have it somewhere on my phone, and I will post it on the Slurmcast.
Don't post the kid's picture.
I'll blur out the
Don't.
number.
Oh,
All right.
still wrong. Okay.
Have
Thanks
a
for
great week,
listening.
everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.